Instagram, you say masculinity, dating, and what women actually want, unfiltered.
Right.
What do women actually want?
I don't have a prescription for what women want. I ask them what they want, and they tell me. That's all. And I share that information. That's it. I don't tell them anything. I don't prescribe anything.
Well, okay, I'm not going to. Let's go over some of the other prompts then. You have men. Healthy masculinity is expansive, not rigid. Can you just define what you mean by that, I guess?
Where is that? Where did I say that?
It was in one of the, you said positive claims I would make in the debate. Healthy masculinity is expansive, not rigid. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I just don't subscribe to the idea that there's only one way to be considered quote unquote masculine.
So like traditional gender roles, you would say?
Traditional gender roles, you can be masculine in traditional gender role, but I think if you're not, that doesn't necessarily mean you're less masculine. For example, if your wife makes more money than you, I don't think that makes you less masculine.
Okay. Andrew, so the positive claim he makes is healthy masculinity is expansive, not rigid. Is that something you want to bite on?
Yeah, but we'd have to get into semantics.
I don't want to get into semantics.
Then I can't get a position.
No, because
for the sake of the conversation, will you get into semantics?
I hear what you're saying,
No,
but
do me a solid.
But I get it.
Are you my homie?
We're homies.
Are we homies?
We're homies. But what I'm saying is, Andrew has does these tactics, man. It's not about because, but he's doing bad faith arguments, Brian. I appreciate it, but he's doing bad faith arguments. He's doing bad faith arguments.
I haven't even made an argument.
But you will. I know you.
So I'm gonna make. You're mad because I'm. You're
gonna make a bad faith argument.
Stop me from preemptively making an argument.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, great.
Let's do semantics.
So
Did you like the lemonade, by the way?
I just want to know what you mean by masculinity. What does that mean to you?
I don't have a solid definition. My general definition of masculinity, and it's very loose, is basically men doing the right thing because it's the right thing. And it's not the best definition because I don't think masculinity can be so defined.
What?
That's my definition.
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
Correct.
What's the right thing?
Protecting people, being good to people. That's what I think is masculine.
Protecting people and being good to people. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what does good to people mean? What does that mean?
See, I'm not getting into morality. I'm not
even getting it.
But that's where it goes. That's where it goes, Andrew. That's where it goes.
No, I'm just asking what this means.
I gave you my definition. Move on. Provide your definition. Provide whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, so I can give you my definition of masculinity, but you haven't given me yours.
I did. Go for it.
So
I did.
I just want to make sure I got it right then, and I'm going to write down every word. Masculinity is men doing the right thing.
Because it's the right thing, not for any sort of transaction or reward.
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
Yes.
Now, I need you to understand this. I know that you think that these are sneaky debate tricks, right? Even though I've sat across this table, this, by the way, is the first time ever that I've been in studio and had a one-on-one debate where it's even been slightly heated. And usually we start serious, where it's been a 1v1, where it's even been, well, no, with the two degenerates. That was the only other time. Literally, that was the only other time in a 1v1 where it was even really
never
heated.
Gotten heated. You've never gotten heated, dude.
It was pretty tame. No, I'm serious.
You've never gotten heated.
No, what did I just say? Can you even repeat back?
In a one-on-one debate, it's never been heated.
No. What did I fucking see? You're not even listening, dude. You don't even know how to listen.
This is the only one.
I said in this studio, this is the only 1v1 that I can think of where it's even gotten heated.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the case. And usually it's because I clarify everything before we start talking about it, so we're not talking past each other.
Yeah, because you love definitions. It's your favorite thing in the whole world.
Dude, how do we know what we're talking about?
Well, you know what we're talking about.
No,
you just
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Okay, masculinity is men doing the right thing. Okay, well, I think the right thing is for you to fucking, I don't know, punch yourself in the fucking dick. Now do it.
Great.
So you're feminine. You're feminine.
Okay.
Punch yourself in the dick or you're feminine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you're feminine.
Good point.
Fucking stupid, dude. You have to tell me what these things mean.
Good point.
Tell me what it means. What does it mean? What is the right thing?
That's my definition.
What is the right thing, bro?
No,
what is the right thing, bro?
I'm not doing it.
What
Tell
is
me your
it?
definition.
What is the right thing?
Tell me your definition.
You haven't told me anything.
Tell me your definition.
Tell
me your definition.
I think that masculinity is when men beat up women.
Tell me your definition.
I just did.
Okay, well.
I think masculinity is when men beat up women and kick them while they're down. Well, that's the only way to be masculine.
You say that in jest, but a lot of truth is said in jest.
No, it's 100%.
A lot of truth is said in jest.
You got
a lot of truth. A lot
Fuck
of truth
'em up.
is
You know,
said
you
in
gotta
jest.
really get in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, joking like
Yeah.
that is, that's coming
You know
from
how
a
it
real
is.
place from you. That's
You gotta
coming from
get
a
in
real
there.
place.
Yeah.
That's coming from a real solid
Yeah,
place.
I mean, I would give you a
No, that's coming
definition.
from the soul, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd give you a
That's coming from
definition.
the soul,
But are you gonna
buddy.
ask me questions
That's
about the
coming from the
definition?
soul.
You gonna ask me questions
Oh
about
man,
it?
you really you
Yeah.
meant that.
Yeah.
You meant that.
Yeah, and then you got to kick them when they're down.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You can't let the bitches up.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a joke, right?
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
out
a
of- they're
joke.
out of their
Yeah, a
fucking
lot of
mind.
truth is said
Yeah.
in jest, Andrew.
Yeah. Is it?
Absolutely.
Like when you were like before the show started and you were making Kate jokes about yourself? Is that where you tried to tell me something?
I never once did that. What are you
Oh,
talking
come
about?
on, dude.
What do you, did he just really make that up just to say some bullshit
Come
on air?
on, dude.
Did I miss something?
No.
Everybody missed it because it never fucking happened.
What I'm pointing out to you, right, is when you're bad faith like this, I'm going to be bad faith back.
Okay, go for it then. You've been bad faith this whole time.
There's no, bro, asking
You're
you.
a bad faith debater.
Asking you about
You're
your
a bad
proprietary fucking
I
definition.
gave
is
you
the
my
opposite of bad
definition.
faith.
I'm not going to go into morality because then it becomes.
We're not
what
even
do you
going into
consider-
morality. I'm just asking you what
When
the
you
right
ask
thing
somebody
is.
what good
Just
is,
asking you what
when
the
you
right
ask
thing
somebody
is.
what is good, is that not
They
morality?
define the fucking thing by what is good. Then I have to ask you what good is. You fucking dolt.
But that's what I'm saying.
God,
I'm
you're
not
dumb as
going
a
to
box
sit
of
here.
fucking
I'm not
rocks.
going to get into morality with you because it's the same bullshit every time with you.
fine.
This is your favorite argument is morality.
Then what? You should just
got-
look at the camera and monologue, dude.
I will.
You're not
I got-
debating.
I
You're
got-
just screaming.
I got a prompt change then.
Well, he doesn't want to define masculinity. He only wants to, pick apart mine.
You haven't even defined it.
Sure.
You just
But
gave
it's
a
your
proprietary
positive claim.
definition.
Yeah.
It's your positive claim.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, but I
how
have to
about
define
this?
it for him.
Let's do
I
this.
defined it.
I have
Let's
to
do-
define it for him.
I defined it.
You didn't, dude.
Did he define it?
No. No.
Or are
it
you not
makes it's
satisfied?
He's not
circular.
satisfied with
Listen,
it.
it's circular. Masculinity is men doing the right thing. That fucking doesn't tell us anything.
Because I don't have a very prescriptive version of masculinity. That is my general
so it's fine.
across the board.
So then it would be
version
fine
of
for me to
masculinity.
ask follow-up questions about what the right
But
thing
I
is.
don't want to get into morality
But you
with
don't
you.
want to tell me any fucking answers to any questions.
Here, well, if you don't want to get into the morality, can you say, you said it's healthy masculinity is expansive. Andrew's got to take a little smoke break here. A little smoke break.
Because Andrew thinks masculinity is very rigid. If you don't fall within these guidelines, if you don't follow,
be nice. Come on.
if you don't fall within these certain guidelines, you're not masculine. That's Andrew's take.
Okay. Well, while Andrew's getting a little smoke break, we are going to let some chats come through. By the way, guys, actually, you know what? Pull up Twitch because we need to do a little Twitch shout out. Guys, go to Twitch. Pull up the actual Twitch tab in the window tab. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. If you're enjoying the stream, drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. There's 1,100 viewers over there on Twitch, and I think we got about 9,000 on YouTube. If you guys can, just open up another tab. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch. It's a quick, free, easy way to support the show every single month. Fenris, Tempest, thank you for the Prime. Sally, thank you for the Tier 1. Light Tarot, thank you for the Prime sub. It's been Chino, thank you for the Prime. Warped, thank you for the Tier 1. Guys, it's been about 2 seconds since the last Prime sub came in, and I think it got bugged. I think it's bugged, boys. Also, drop us a follow us over there. And then also, guys, if you want to support the show without YouTube and Apple taking their cut, you can do so through Venmo, Cash App, whatever pod. Andrew's coming right back. He just went out for a quick smoke. Also, if you're enjoying the stream, like the video. But Venmo, Cash App, whatever pod, 100% of your contribution goes towards us. YouTube takes 30%. And then if you're sending a chat in through the YouTube app on an iPhone or iPad or other Apple device, Apple takes 30%. So if you're sending in a $200 super chat, and usually the way you can tell if it's from an Apple device, if it's like $99.99, that's usually the indicator. So if you send in a $200 super chat through Apple through an Apple device on YouTube app, they're taking $102 of that. They're taking more than 50% of your contribution for what? Streamlabs.com/whatever. We're doing $100 reads and TTSs if you want to get those in. Let's see what else. Oh, also, guys, join the Discord. Discord.gg/whatever. It's really great. Raphael is actually a longtime member on the Discord. He enjoys all the misogynistic memes that we post there. I'm just kidding. We don't post any misogynistic memes. We post a bunch of feminist stuff on there. Shop.whatever.com. If you want to get yourself some merch, be sure to check it out. Andrew is about to return. Just bring the bottle of whiskey, Andrew. Do you want the bottle? Just drink from the bottle. Get him the bottle. Get him the bottle of whiskey. Let's see if we have. Oh, we got some chats.
Hang on. Let me just try this again.
Yes. Go ahead.
If you are talking about something and making a prescriptive ought, in this case masculinity, right? What it is and what men should be doing with it.
I didn't say they should be. I said that's my worldview.
Okay, your worldview. Great. If we dive into your worldview, right, and you have a proprietary definition, this definition meets no definition of masculinity I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
Okay? Yes, so it's proprietary. You agree?
Yes.
So it's perfectly rational and logical for me to go through your proprietary definition so that I can make sure it makes fucking sense, right?
I don't care if you think it makes sense.
Give me a fucking shot, dude. I can't.
Dude, give him the bottle. You want the bottle? How much is left?
Probably that chatter, the one chatter is actually right.
lot.
You might be
That's a lot.
the dumbest fucking person I've ever debated on this podcast.
And you're the most emotional wreck of a person I've ever
You'd
talked
be
to.
emotional too if you're. It's like arguing with a fucking kindergartner, dude. You don't even know what you're talking
Can you
about.
pass her the?
You like literally don't know what you're
The whole
talking
point
about.
of
I
the
don't
prompt-
care.
the whole point of the
I
prompt-
don't care.
The whole point of the
I don't
prompt
care.
was masculinity isn't a rigid thing, and that's why I keep it very open.
Yeah, okay, it's not a rigid thing, but that doesn't tell us what it is.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. We'll do a couple chats here really quick, then we'll get right back into a prompt. We have Red Fox. Thank you, Red Fox. Appreciate it.
Red Fox donated $100. Andrew holds a deep veneration for women and their contributions,
And talk about it all the
particularly
time.
ecclesial traditions.
Deep veneration.
Feminist, what is the role and duty of women?
In fact, my religion, we venerate the Theotokos. You know, that would be the mother of God. But, you know, the thing is even though I talk about this all the time, discuss how much we need matrons in society, how important it is, I just hate all fucking women.
No, you see them as just breeders. That's what you see them as.
Yeah, well, it's just breeders.
That's what he
Do you
see-
think women have any duty to?
No.
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 Do men
Never?
have duties? Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Men don't have duties?
No, I think by my definition, they should do the right thing, but that's my
That would be a
worldview.
duty, you fucking dolt.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so
then they have a
what duty? So they have the duty to do the right thing?
Let's
That's
not
what I
do
think.
insults.
Now let's do insults.
Andrew, no.
What duties do men have to do the right thing?
That's my worldview.
So
yeah.
they have duties. What duties do women have?
None.
None. Okay.
Okay, we have a couple chats coming through here. We got, where is it?
That
Jordan.
drives you insane.
Yes, it does.
Drives him insane.
Jordan Flores donated
Flores.
$100. Andrew, I'm sorry. As a member of the Mexican community, we don't claim the Fem de General Vivo El Crucible.
Are you part of that? Maybe
I'm half Mexican,
You could
yes.
be Puerto Rican. You could.
I'm
be,
half Mexican,
Okay.
but I would
How do you-
imagine.
he's apparently Jordan Flores is the representative.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
a
all-
member.
Of all
yeah,
Mexicans who
He's
have ever lived.
disowning.
He works in the
Kingdom.
consulate. Yeah, no, he absolutely is probably another one of these single people that are angry. So it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, you're married and seem pretty angry.
Between the two of us, I'm the one that seems angry,
Yeah, you
Andrew.
seem pretty
Between the
angry.
two of us,
Yes.
nice job, dude.
100 times the women you have, so his sample size is far greater. Shouldn't you defer to that then, since you love Moo studies so much? Shout
I've
out
interviewed-
Mr. Dottie.
You've interviewed a lot.
I think 2,000.
Jeez.
2,000 women. I know.
That's a lot.
That was kind of misogynistic.
And I've been
What
here
have you
for-
learned?
Why
I've
did
been
you
here
say-
for like half
wait,
of that, by the
why
way.
Why did you say geez when I interviewed 2,000
That's all-
women?
I'm just saying that's a
You
lot of
seem-
shows.
That seems a bit misogynistic.
How so?
It just seems a bit like, wow, you had to talk to 2,000 women?
I'm just surprised at the sheer
That just
number of
seems a
women you've
little-
talked to.
No, the way it came across.
Sure, but I'm explaining.
Was it was like, I'm sorry
No,
that you had
it
to
wasn't
do that.
It wasn't
Brian.
that. I'm just asking
Okay,
you what
my
you've
bad.
learned in those 2,000 interviews. What have you learned?
From them.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
About women.
Not much.
No?
Just kidding. I've learned a lot.
Yeah?
I've learned a ton.
What have you learned? Share something.
Ask me at the end of the show,
Okay.
and I'll tell you. I don't want to. I shouldn't be too involved in the convo.
Hey, you donated $100. The red pill
Thank
isn't
you.
the problem. It's a symptom of a larger issue where men have had negative experiences with modern women and are still villainized. We find solidarity in our collective awakening.
Thank you, hey you. This is exactly what I think is an honest assessment of what happens. I said in my opening statement that red pill communities prey on men's rejection. They prey on men's anger. And I think that's true. And I think they do find community in Red Pill. I really do. And I think that's why they flock there. But I don't think it's effective for them. I think it's keeping them lonely, isolated, and angry. And they're not dating. So if it's not working, let's look for an alternative. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Here, let's get into that. What's the alternative?
That's what we've been trying to get into this whole time. But you're trying to do
waiting.
some other
Let's-
bullshit semantic definition game.
Okay. Listen, me asking you what masculinity is, and you saying fulfilling the general societal good, fucking is meaningless.
Okay.
It is meaningless.
Okay, because I didn't come here to necessarily to talk about that. I came here to talk about the red pill community
this
is
is your
destroying
worldview.
men's
Debates
Yeah.
are about worldviews.
No,
dude.
debates. You play debate club, and I'm not here for that.
Dude, it's not debate club.
You
it's
try
just
to win.
a
No,
debate.
you try to win debate points. Like there's some judges out there. That's what you do,
Bro,
You're not trying to have a real conversation about shit.
Yeah, I agree that I want my worldview to win, and I want my worldview to win a debate. But the thing is like, I don't even know what your worldview is because you can't explain it.
So your worldview is the red pill is working for men? Is that your worldview?
No.
Well, that's what we're here arguing.
Okay, if you want to do an internal critique of Christian ethics and my worldview, I'm happy to do that.
We came here to talk about the red pill and manosphere community.
Yes, and so when you're asking me about the red pill, what have I told you it is?
You said it's a data packet.
Yes, and so I can utilize, and Christians can utilize this data packet as well, right? And we can introduce it through Christian ethics in a prism that helps men, right?
Only through Christian ethics?
That's what I would prescribe.
Yeah, but most people in red pill communities aren't Christian Orthodox.
They don't have to be Christian Orthodox.
Okay, well the point is the red pill community helping
Do you
men or is it
realize-
hurting? Hold on, is
Yeah.
is the red pill community helping men or is it hurting them in your opinion?
Ultimately, I
Yes.
think it's more helpful than it's bad.
Okay,
Yeah, but I would like to know what the alternative is.
turn off the red pill at least for now. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I
but
got.
what's the alternative to it, though?
I don't know. Consider trying to ask a girl out. Maybe.
Yeah, they never thought of that.
They're not doing it, Andrew.
Yeah, dude. Bro, you literally just said with that chatter
Yeah.
that you agreed with his definition of what it was, what the problem was.
I didn't say anything about
Hang on.
definition.
That the way he said the
Yeah.
problem was,
Yeah.
which is that they had bad experiences with women.
Correct.
That means they're asking them out.
Not necessarily.
Then how are they having bad experiences with them?
Maybe they're not getting success on dating apps. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going up to women in the street and asking them out.
So they're having issues approaching women.
Yes.
They're having issues
Men feel
dating with
rejected.
women.
Yes, men feel rejected.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is hopefully more positive content coming out. I hope my channel helps. I hope other channels
That
help.
doesn't. It's not telling me anything. What's the alternative?
I don't have the definite alternative, but I think the point is the red pill
what the
community is
fuck,
hurting men.
dude? What the
The red pill
fuck?
community is hurting people. That's all I'm talking
Okay,
about.
But you said you were here to discuss the alternatives.
I
to
didn't
it.
say. When did I say I was here to?
I
discuss the
literally just
alternative?
wrote down alternative because you said, right? I have an alternative.
I
What-
said seek out alternatives.
What's the alternative?
I don't know, but there's not the red pill. If it's not working, get away from it. If it's poison, stop taking it. That's the first fucking step.
So
Would you
don't-
agree?
Not a single alternative.
If you're taking, like I said, there's
You
probably
haven't
more-
demonstrated
There's
it's poison.
positive masculinity podcasts out there that I would recommend listening
Whoa,
to.
really? Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Positive masculinity?
Correct.
Okay, what is that?
Not the rigid sense that the red pill prescribes.
That
anything,
doesn't- that doesn't
anything
tell me
counter the
shit.
red pill. Anything. Okay, I'll just call it blue pill for the sake of your stupid definitions. I'll call it blue pill.
And what
Listen
is
to blue
it-
pill.
and what is
content.
that?
The
What is
opposite
that?
of red pill. How about that?
Okay, well, what are they saying?
They're saying don't take the red pill. That's what they're saying.
Okay, got it. So let me ask you a question. This is a cool red pill talking point.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you can refute it. Do you think that that men care about body count?
I think some of them do.
Yeah, would you?
No,
No, you wouldn't care?
I wouldn't.
If she had fucked 20,000 guys,
If I loved her, I wouldn't care.
you wouldn't care? 30?
There's no number. If I love somebody, I'll care. I don't care.
Yeah. What if she had sucked 20 guys' dicks at once?
Do you think that's going to change my answer?
I'm just curious.
I've already answered it. If I cared about somebody, I don't care.
No matter what.
Correct. As long
Okay.
as I don't have an STD, I don't care.
Do you think it's a legitimate preference that men have that they don't want women with high body counts?
I think any preference is legitimate. If somebody has a preference, they have a preference.
Okay.
So what?
So do you think that that's a legitimate preference?
Sure. I said any preference is legitimate. Remember when I said that?
And then what do you think most men would consider a high body count to be?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Okay.
How would I know that?
Okay, fair enough. Do you think that most men would maybe consider 10 would probably be pretty high?
Not necessarily. No. Not in 2025. No.
You don't think so?
I don't.
You don't think that men would have a preference against being with a woman who's fucked 10 different dudes
I think
before them?
some men would, but not all men.
Yeah. So the men who would find that revolting, what do you think they should do in 2025 when you just said there's not very many women who haven't had that?
Fine. I didn't say there's that many women that haven't had that. I'm saying that isn't necessarily
Well,
such a
then
high body
why-
count for some people. I didn't say every woman has that body
I didn't
count.
say every.
Well, then they should find somebody that doesn't have that body count. That's what they want.
What if okay, but what if it's the case that an overwhelming majority of women have that body count?
Then men are shit out of luck, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
So how are you helping them?
I'm saying that I don't think that's the case. If that is the case and men don't want to change their preference, then they won't find anyone to date.
So you're saying that if they have a preference against this, that they should just change their preference.
I didn't say that.
So what should they do?
If every woman is disqualified, then they're not going to date.
So if it is the case then that promiscuity increases in society, which that's what the trends are showing, you at least agree with that. Promiscuity, the trends show that has been drastically increasing over the last 20 years.
Like I said, I don't think it's that drastically different than it was when we were in college. So no.
Okay. You don't think that you don't think like OF has increased since you were in college?
That doesn't necessarily mean they're banging a bunch of other dudes. Porn has been around for a long time.
Yeah, but the thing is the individualized form of it has not.
Yeah, but they're often with their own partners and stuff, so it doesn't matter.
They do BG,
Okay, and
BP
porn
with
has
other
been
people.
around for a long time. You remember
not
Jenna
at the rates
Jameson?
it
You
has
remember
been
all
now.
them? Like, it's been around,
Not even
dude.
close to the
It's
same
been
rates,
around,
dude.
Okay, it's been around.
Do you ever think we've been in a situation like with Zoomers where it could be as many as 1 in 10 women do porn ever?
Okay.
Ever?
that-
Fucking ever.
Okay. Those are OF people. That doesn't mean general women. There are average people get married every day, Andrew. It's not.
Marriage is decreasing.
But it's still average people get married every day, even if they're
It happens.
decreasing.
Listen,
yeah.
it happens.
So
And
people
listen,
are finding these people that are on OF.
I agree that you should be going for good marriages, but
Why
here's
not?
where our problem. You should be going for good marriages, but here's my problem. My problem is when we get into the preferences of men. When you say we should be looking for alternatives. Let's have alternatives to red pill for men who have preferences. I disagree with you, and I think body count matters to men in a big way.
To some men, yes.
Yeah, and I want to know what you would tell those men to do. What would you tell them to do?
If they're religious, they probably can find somebody in their church that doesn't have a high body count. I'm sure they can meet people when they're young and in college, because college people are dating and getting married. There's probably younger women out there that if you date them,
What about
there's a lot
the
of people that get
30-year-olds?
married. What about the 30-year-olds? They're not all. I mean, they don't necessarily. Not all women have high body counts. So I don't. But you make it sound like they do, because that's still like your shtick. That's what you do, is
Yeah.
make men think that all women are skanks.
No.
As you
I'm just
said.
saying that don't you think that by the time most women are 25, they've had at least 3 sexual partners? At least by the
Maybe three.
At least 3.
I'll grant 3.
At least 3.
I'll grant 3.
Yeah. So at least 3.
I don't say at least. I'll grant 3.
You'll grant 3, but
Yeah.
you won't grant 5.
I can go to 5.
Okay, 5. And don't you think that once you start getting into those numbers, we're in like high body count territory for a lot of men?
It depends on what their preference is. I have no idea.
If their preference is that they don't want a woman who's slept with 5 men before them, or had, and remember this too, a lot of these times you're sleeping with these women are sleeping with these men, they're long-term relationships, right? So you think that if men have legitimate preferences against all that baggage, right? You think they should be alone?
No, I think they should find somebody that doesn't have that baggage. If that's what matters to
do
them.
you think that there's enough of those out there for the amount of men?
I do.
Oh, you do, and you think
Yes.
that those women want those men?
I think average people get married every day.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not my question.
Well, it answers your question.
So then, how come you think that these incels can't find the women which are based around their preferences? Then
I think a lot of people either stay in their house and don't get out. They don't meet people. They don't ask people out in high school. They don't ask people out in college. I think that's a big problem with men today, is that they're not asking women out. I think that's a big issue.
okay, we'll just finish with this real quick, and then I'll tie it all together for you. What do you consider a marriageable woman for the average man? What is marriageable?
I can't
to you?
prescribe that. I have no idea.
Well, what do you think the average man would consider marriageable?
Oh, someone they really enjoy being around. I don't know. That's what I think they're looking for.
Well, there's going to be some things that you would agree with me. They have to be like they probably have to be attracted to them,
Sure.
right? A trait like that, they would probably have to be attracted.
Sure.
So
But attraction comes in many ways.
Well, they'd have to probably be physically attracted to each other, right?
To some degree, but personality and humor can win a lot of people over.
Yeah, but you still have to be attracted to a person to want to fuck them.
There's a lot of average people that get married every day, Andrew.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not attracted to the other people.
Okay,
So
but they could be
attraction would still be
They
key.
could be attracted beyond physical looks. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is like it's really hard for a man's weenie to get hard if you're not physically
It's really
attracted.
not.
It's not.
It's really not.
So if you're not, so you fuck women you're not physically attracted to?
I'm saying most men find most women attractive.
You think that men fuck women they're not attracted to?
I think they find most women attractive.
Yeah. So like, so you think then that like that men can just will themselves to fuck unattractive women?
It's called a slump buster.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men find a lot of women attractive.
And do you think they want long-term relationships with those women?
Yes, because they get married every day. Average people get married every day.
Average doesn't mean you're not attracted to them, though. You keep on you're making a conflation.
Yeah, because
so
I'm
like they
saying-
have to be attracted at least, right?
Sure, there has to be some attraction, but
Yeah.
again,
some physical attraction.
sure,
Okay. And do you think that there's like I don't know an obesity epidemic?
sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so doesn't that lower the rates of attractiveness?
Maybe, but aren't the 600-pound ladies married? Like, aren't they married? Like, it can happen.
Yeah, but they're usually married to like very, very unattractive men as well,
Well,
right?
they're attracted to them, so what does it matter?
No, they're not always attracted to each other.
So they got married just for what?
No. Sometimes it happens in the marriage,
Okay.
right? Sometimes it happens in the marriage. They
The
literally
point is-
grow apart.
The point is, people can find other people attractive. People want to spend their lives with people, but you don't want to push that message.
No, what do you mean? I'm just talking about basic laws of attraction. Do you at least agree there has to be a trait of attraction?
Sure, but if 600
Yeah.
if 600-pound people can find a partner, then I think a lot of people can find a partner.
1 second. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here.
All good. Quick little guys, we're like 300 viewers away from 10,000 concurrent on YouTube. Guys, if you're watching, help us peak at 10,000.
So anyway, yeah, so back to this. So we agree that there's at least one trait. Are there any other traits for marriageable women?
Sorry, repeat the question. I'm not really sure.
We
what you're
agree
asking.
there's at least one trait. There has to be attraction. Is there any
For
other
men,
traits?
you're saying men need to find a woman attractive. That's one of the criteria.
It's, well, at least one we could agree on. There has to be attraction.
Some attraction, yes.
Okay, what else for a marriageable woman?
I think if they enjoy being around the person, I think that's a big personality, humor, like same interests. I think those are a big factor.
Yeah, okay, they enjoy each other's company.
Correct. That's a big part of living together.
Okay, but so they enjoy each other's company. What else?
I don't know. They have similar values.
Similar values.
They agree on similar household duties, things like that.
Okay, so I agree. I would say that one you nailed right there. Similar values is the thing that I hear the most from both men and women.
Yeah.
Right? Similar values.
Yeah.
So if you were to, like, I don't know, ask a woman, for instance, about her political takes, and they were completely the opposite of yours.
Yeah.
Right? You probably wouldn't want to be with that woman.
Probably not, and you probably shouldn't.
So, like, if you thought, for instance, that women shouldn't vote, right? And they thought that they should.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't date that person.
Yeah. So it seems like it's a pertinent dating question now.
No, I'm saying
No.
that in red
How is
pill.
that? No.
The only people who think women shouldn't vote are red pill people. So I'm saying if they can get out of the red pill community, they wouldn't
Yeah,
think
but
like
you
that.
just said that preferences are a thing which are completely fine, and you have no problem with anybody's preferences about anything.
Okay, yeah. If these people similar values, if they're like, hey, I don't think women should have the right to vote, or I don't think women should work, then yeah, go ahead and whittle those people out of your life. Go for it.
So just to make sure, right?
Yeah.
You think that if it's your preference, that you shouldn't be with women like that.
What percentage of the
So
population? What percentage of the population
according to
do you think?
it's the red pillars, and
Yeah.
those are the men you're trying
I
to
said
save.
they're the only ones.
Yeah,
that might
and aren't
think
those
that.
the men you're trying to save?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, but if their preference is to have these types of women,
but why do you
how
think
are you
they
going to
don't-
save them?
Why do you think they don't want women to vote?
Well, I think that they have good justifiable reasons for why they don't want anybody to vote.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Well, like I said, those are all the things that would make somebody, I think, viable. And if they don't match those,
so how are you gonna save these guys if they have these preferences? I don't get it.
then they find somebody. Your wife doesn't care about voting, right? You found somebody.
Yeah, I did. Do you
Yeah,
think
so
that
other
there's a
people
lot
can
of
too.
my wives out there?
I don't think there's a lot of yous out there.
Well, but there's a lot of red pillars, right?
Yeah, but I don't think every single red pillar thinks they shouldn't vote. The women shouldn't vote. You you landed on that somehow,
So?
and you found
Yeah.
somebody who agrees with you.
Yeah.
So
Well, no,
I have hope.
She convinced me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have hope that other guys can too. Then.
Okay, so then inside of the red pill community, though, you do agree that there's like a massive repeal the 19th movement?
Sure.
Yeah.
And if they find women that agree, good for them. I hope they do.
But they don't. But they probably won't, right?
Okay, well then they're going to be alone then.
So then you don't really care about the loneliness of red pillers. You just want them to change their preferences.
No, I didn't say that.
To meet your preferences.
There's a lot of red pillers that might change their whole belief system after getting out of it.
Go ahead, change my belief system.
I didn't say I'm going to
Why
change
is
your
it that
belief
red
system.
pillars should get with women who want the right to vote?
I didn't say that. That's not
So
what I'm
you have
saying.
no prescriptions.
I-
You have no fucking prescriptions.
Listen.
It's like talking. Listen. No, you listen.
No, you listen. You've been
Give me
talking-
a fucking prescription.
No,